Game on, it's the Broadway revival of Take Me Out, starring Tony winner Jesse Tyler Ferguson and Tony nominee Jesse Williams. It's a story of America's favorite pastime and just what happens when one of the game's top stars comes out as gay. I had a chance to catch up with Jesse Williams. Well, I want to jump in because you've had quite the run, right? We were just talking earlier, and you really didn't have an intention of Broadway or acting in general.
No, I hadn't really considered it until, I was in film school. Film was one of my majors at Temple University, and in making student films and shooting them and directing them and writing them, after a couple kind of projects, I kind of realized, oh, acting is also really a significant part of the storytelling process. And I liked it. I felt like I was good at it, and it was fun, and it was a way to be really creative, and I just kind of started checking that out too while I was working at law firms and waiting tables and bartending here in New York.
So Grey's Anatomy, you had a long run there.
I certainly did.
And Broadway now, how different is that?
Acting on TV or film or stage, they certainly do complement each other, but I really, now having been a year into this, I kind of tend to say they're different sports. On stage is an entirely different use of the mind, body, and soul for me, but they certainly do inform each other. And it's kind of fascinating how being on a bare stage on a stool, just like this, we actually have a scene in Take Me Out where me and Brandon Durden's character are just talking on stools on a bare stage, and that can feel more real and compelling than being on location in a swamp in some film. You're in all real scenarios, but because we're living the whole thing and it's full life together and we have to complete it. I say it's kind of like acting with a gun to your head. You have to complete this mission together right now. You don't get another take, you don't get another crack at it. So it's a different animal.
It's so interesting because you have such a basis of comparison versus having just done,
Right.
started Broadway and not having done anything else. What have you learned about yourself with regard to this role, this cast, this conversation that this show brings?
It's a great question. One of the things that comes to mind when you say, what have I learned about myself doing this? It has been a great confirmation of the reward and the satisfaction and the joy that can be derived from pushing yourself to jump off a cliff. Like, it was a risk, there's a lot of ways this could have gone badly, and it's totally unknown to me, and I came out of a very safe situation in every way to do this thing that is absolutely raw and risky, and it's all this, the sweeter to find some success and find some comfort and find a new community out of it. So risk-taking and believing in yourself and not following the advice of others and just kind of trusting your gut, kind of a return to home. And I'm a very cerebral, logical, strategic person, and it's nice to kind of return to the other part of myself and just kind of go with how I feel.
Well, it's interesting because we talk a lot about taking risks and not having fear or moving past fear, but that really is what you did with this, jumping into this kind of role, right? And especially this kind of show, too.
Yeah.
You weren't coming in here as as singing and dancing as part of, 50 people in a cast. It really is you. Yeah.
Look, I couldn't have found a better a project to be, opportunity to be presented to me, and not just the words, the material, Richard Greenberg. It's just so challenging and fantastic, and it's exactly what I want for my career as an extension of my life. I want it to be, first, is it smart? Is it interesting? Is it compelling? Is it challenging? Does it take me a long period of time to fully understand it and examine it? Does it pique curiosity? So you have that as a basis, but none of this happens without an incredible director, Scott Ellis, who called me and we had a conversation, and I just knew that this was, God has put something right in front of me that it's a perfect time and perfect place and perfect material and perfect collaborators. So I'm grateful every day. I'm looking on stage at my co-stars, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Talk about the nudity on stage, because I know that's part of it, and I know there's got to be some kind of comfort level that you get to with that. Was that a difficult part of the show, or was it?
It really wasn't. It's really not. It's part of, I'm serving the story.
Yeah. I'm
serving the character, and we're being the character's honest selves in those times. It's not that scene doesn't stand out to me as a top 5 scene that I focus energy on trying to form and shape.
Because you're in, because you're in the moment.
Yeah, because it's real. Because I'm telling the truth up there. You know, we're not. There's not much false about it. That's part of that freedom through really exploring and trusting your collaborators.